Welcome. You're listening to Sports Econ 101, the show where we discuss sports topics from a business perspective. I'm your host, Edward Brown, along with my co-hosts, Vern Glenn, FP Santangelo Jr., and Russell Jackman. At each commercial break, we're going to ask a sports trivia question. And again, we're still in baseball season, so it's baseball's over easy, as we say. All right. No, it has nothing to do with food and baseballs. So we've got a lot of various topics to cover. One of them specifically I put on here just for Russ because he's the big wrestling guy, about Vince McMahon, Russ's favorite promoter, right?
You've heard me talk about him for many years, and everything that I've said about him has pretty much been true. And now all this has come to surface, and it's rather ugly, but I'll let you continue.
As they say, the chickens come home to roost, as they say. And then
I don't think you want to involve. I don't think you want to involve male chicken references with Vince McMahon anytime soon.
Okay, don't understand that, but that's okay. Let's see if we have time. Here are the various topics we'll want to cover. Crypto is leaving sports among the crash. That's what's been going on. Let's see, Minnesota Wild Russian Kirill Kaprizov, I guess that's how you pronounce his name, denied entry into the USA twice. Damian Lillard, got to talk about him and his extension. Djokovic, holy smokes, is he going to be able to even play in the US Open due to his status?
No, he's not. No, he's unvaccinated. He can't. Yep. He's not.
No, he's out.
Okay, next.
Good riddance.
What do you mean good riddance? I mean, how do you not let the number one player play? But anyway, that's
take the shots. Take the shots.
Take the shots. Did I tell you? And nothing else.
The responsible thing. It saves lives. It saves lives.
Yes. That's right. And then the PGA Tour. Kind of curious about this Department of Justice antitrust issue. What a coincidence, happening right when Biden's going to Saudi Arabia. All right, stay with us. Sports Econ 101. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Edward Brown here, along with Vern Glenn, FP Santangelo Jr., and Russell Jackman. So on break, FP was mentioning about, hey, we got to talk about the All-Star game for baseball and how it just kind of seems a little bit lackluster with regard to how many people watch? I mean, that used to be my favorite thing to watch, years ago. And it's kind of interesting with, like how the NBA basketball game used to be interesting. And then it got to be like, everyone just lets everyone dunk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The thing is with baseball, it's not exactly the same kind of issue. So what do you think? What's the lackluster part of it?
Well, Edward, I haven't watched it in like 4 or 5 years, right? And I think as soon as Major League Baseball got rid of the rule that the winner of the NL and the AL All-Star game didn't decide home field advantage for the World Series, I just stopped caring completely. So I thought that was
I hated that. I
thought it was a really cool element, personally.
But
I didn't like that at all.
It's funny, they put that in, but it was really, I mean, what are the odds that, your team is going to make it to the World Series? I mean, I don't want to say it's a consolation prize, but if they played for something like, either a whole bunch of extra money or something extra, except for just, oh, by the way, home field advantage for whoever gets into the World Series. You know what I mean? That's not enough.
Well, it's to me, it's become the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
The guys want to be named. They want to be recognized. They want to be praised for being named an all-star, but nobody wants to play in that game. Yeah, I mean, it's great. Show up and take your pictures, soak up the atmosphere, take your family, and enjoy that week, that one day, that 2 days or whatever that comes with it. Yeah, okay, yeah, fine. But it gets down to in between the lines, playing the game. Those guys, I mean, they don't play hard. I mean, the pitchers are in there. I mean, they're in there long enough to say hello and thank you, and it's just.
Well, nobody wants to get
like
hurt.
The NBA All-Star game and like the Pro Bowl has just become let's just show up and just give them a show.
Okay, so is it really come down to the fact that, the guys are seriously like, I don't want to get hurt? I mean, I think right away of Ray Fosse getting bowled over by Pete Rose.
Yeah, Edward, the one thing is that you can't fake 100-mile-per-hour fastball, right? So that's the one thing that baseball has going in their All-Star game. is that's an actually 100-mile-per-hour fastball, okay? Like, these guys are actually gearing up to hit 100. They're actually throwing their true stuff. The only thing is it's for one inning, and you see like 9 different pitchers, and there's really not to invest in. I thought it was awesome back in the day when the starter for the All-Star game actually went 5 or 6 innings, right? They're actually trying to win and compete, and then there's a lot of pride involved, right? Same thing with
I think you should make it a little edgy. I don't believe you have to have a representative from every single team. You want to up the ante a little bit? Start eliminating. Just start eliminating teams from representation, and just make it just, I don't know, just add some sizzle to it. Whatever the process, whatever. But it is what it is. It's an exhibition. It's one night in Los Angeles at Dodger Stadium.
So the one sizzle they did add this year is that they officially, in the collective bargaining agreement in the offseason, they added a legacy ad for each league. So based on your career accolades, you could be added to the All-Star Game roster. The 2 legacy ads were Miguel Cabrera in the American League and Albert Pujols in the National League, right? And that's really cool, but again, they're going to get like 1 at bat. They're going to tip the cap. Everyone's going to give them a standing O, and that's that. But
are they still doing the home run derby and all that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was always kind of fun. Sort of like watching the 3-pointers with the NBA.
Yeah, I think that's still got a little pop. I think that's fun and good and exciting for kids at least, right? You're like, wow, look how far you hit that ball. Yeah. So that would be fun to see Juan Soto compete. I think Pete Alonso's going for back to back wins, which would be incredible. And then I think Albert Pujols is also in it. A legacy.
That's kind of fun. Yeah, I was gonna say, are they gonna have any old play? Like, I think I remember like them wheeling on Joe DiMaggio, like literally like a couple of months before he died. Are they gonna
No, that was Ted Williams. That was Ted Williams.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Ted Williams. Yeah. Are they gonna have any? Do you know if they're gonna have any like is Willie Mays gonna try to make it down there? Yeah.
Well, that's Dodger territory, so probably not.
Oh, come on. Even the Dodgers got to love Willie.
No, they don't like each other. It's funny. The older the player is, the more that they hate the Dodgers, for sure.
Wow. Well, I guess it's, back then, you didn't have the various divisions where it was easy to get into the playoffs.
Willie didn't even like the Brooklyn Dodgers. So, I mean,
yeah,
he's got a lot of hatred for the Dodgers.
All right. I was going to bring this up last week, but we didn't have time. So crypto leading sports among the crash. You guys heard anything about that? It's like, the crypto's having so much volatility that, there was a time when this crypto was getting really big into sports, and now it's like, not so much.
I'm going to give you I'm going to be brutally honest about it. I'm going to give you a blank stare on crypto.
Okay.
Don't use it. We'll never use it. Don't really understand it. Don't care. I just enjoy, going to the Bank of America and actually seeing real dollars and dealing with that. So take your crypto and kind of kick it around, kick the can down the road. That's fine. But me,
I like having a lot of dead presidents in my wallet. Yeah,
that's right.
Well,
that's right.
I mean, how shocking is it that something that we had no idea what the value of it really was, that's completely unregulated, suddenly, drops in dramatic value and people get stuck holding the bag. I mean, didn't we learn our lesson in the 1920s about when you invest in things, you have absolutely no idea what's going on with them?
Well, the big thing back in the 20s is you could margin 10-to-1 ratio. Now you can only margin 50%. So that's kind of a big difference between the two.
No, but the idea that people want to strike it rich on something that they don't understand, they throw their money at it. And this, just like the stuff in the 20s, has no regulations on it, and there's nothing to back it. And suddenly, because the guy who's running the system dies with the password to it, you get locked out of it. And billions of dollars have been lost that way.
Well, this is worse than the 20s too, because it's too secretive,
Yes.
In fact, I was reading about in Houston, some public pension fund invested like $25 million in crypto. Now it was a smaller percentage of their total portfolio, but what happens when public pensions don't do well? guess what? All of our taxes get to go up. So you kind of wish that they would sort of stay away from those speculative type items. I just thought I'd kind of bring that up.
Well,
in the Wall Street Journal, cryptocurrency, front page, back page. Where does it land?
Front page. Too much money involved with it. It's the new pyramid scheme, depending on what kind of currency you're looking at, right? If you're talking about Bitcoin, that's a lot stronger, right? But if you look at other cryptocurrencies, and I think that's the problem with the market, right? It's split up way too much. So
there's like 1,200 or 2,000 or something like that. It's like, it's funny when people used to try to get me into these pyramid schemes. I said, you know what? If you think about it, why work your way up? I said, why don't you just start your own and you get to start at the top? And a couple of people, they shook their head and they go, oh my gosh, you're right. I mean, it's obviously, I was kind of tongue in cheek because it's illegal for a pyramid scheme, but.
So like I've explained before, Bitcoin, that's actually a legitimate cryptocurrency, and they're trying to decentralize from the government, right? That's the whole reasoning behind it. So you have power over your own money. Mm-hmm. And so that way it's untraceable. So you could buy things without any government interference. Then
the IRS is cracking down on that stuff too.
It's a black market thing of
now people are getting hacked into it. So it's not quite as safe as everyone thought. But what happens when it really gets hacked hard? I mean, who knows? Okay, guys, you ready for our first trivia question? We're talking baseball over easy. I don't know why that's the theme here, but now Vern will get this one. I don't know about Russ and FP. All right, you ready? Who managed until he was 87 years old? Talking about baseball. All right, that's our trivia question. Stay with us. You give me another blank stare, Vern.
I just want coffee.
Yeah, okay, that's a good excuse. All right, stay with us. Sports Econ 101. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101 one more time. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn, FP Santangelo Jr., and Russell Jackman. Our first trivia question: who managed until he was 87 years old? Now, FP, you said you know the answer to this.
Sparky Anderson? I don't know.
No, come on.
It's got to be Connie Mack.
Got to be Connie Mack. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he was born in year 3, I think. Something like that.
Yeah, Connie Mack managed it. He was 87. I believe once he hung it up, I think he went right to the cemetery.
Yeah. The Philadelphia A's, I think. That was the only team he managed too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. Hey, Russ, are you still with us?
Looks like it.
Yeah, but he's
on
off,
mute.
So
he muted himself.
He's probably on a lawyer call. So we'll ask him about this. Okay, so Minnesota Wild, which is an
NHL team.
Yeah. Kirill Kaprizov was denied entry into the USA not once but twice. So here you got, and I gotta think it's all because of Putin, the Russian war, all that kind of stuff.
Well, he didn't have a work visa.
Yeah.
Don't have a work visa, you ain't getting
Kind
in.
of an open and shut case right there. Yes.
Yeah.
So how does he get? So wait a minute though. The thing is, he's playing with the Wild. So he must have had a work visa before. So what? It expired. They didn't.
Yeah,
but
probably
then
expired.
he left. Yeah, it expired. Yeah, you got to keep renewing these things.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I kept thinking, ooh, there's some kind of Russian collusion type thing here.
No, it's not like a driver's license that you have for a few years and then it expires. No.
Oh man, so what the hey?
Yeah, it happens. I had a teammate, Vincent Dubove. Shout out to him. He was the first French-born player to throw 90 miles per hour, and he would always tell me like, "Hey, FP, I got to go back to get France and get my work visa updated or my college visa updated for school, or else I'm going to get deported." And we don't think about these things for foreigners, but it happens a lot.
You only get, I think, 180 consecutive days or something.
So do you think Russia purposely said, no, we're not giving it to you?
No, it's not Russia. It's the United States.
It's the United States, man.
You said he had to go back your friend had to go back to France.
Oh yeah, he had to get his work visa. I saw his family, got it approved. It's a huge, long pain in the butt process. Less so for Europeans than it is for other countries and nations. But
he should just go to Mexico and cross the border like all these other people. It'd be a lot easier.
No.
Yeah, because if you get caught and you get deported, you can't come back to the United States ever.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so now Russ, now that you're not on mute anymore, tell us a little bit about Vince McMahon. He paid.
Well, you guys don't have the rest of the hour to listen to me talk about the transgressions of Vince McMahon, which are many. I was saying on my show, Wrestling and Everything Coast to Coast, my podcast that I do on the weekend, about how Vince McMahon is the ultimate dictator. He is, if you had all the money in the world and you could get away with anything you wanted, you would be Vince McMahon. That if you were an evil man, and he is like the caricature he plays, a guy where money means everything, and what people are to him are either pawns or dollar signs that he can push around and play with just like they were toys.
So so apparently he paid $12 million to 4 women over the past 16 years to hide his numerous allegations of sexual misconduct.
It's a lot more than that. It's a lot more than that. We're talking to Sean Watson, probably would shake his head and say, damn, that's a lot of people with allegations against you.
That's a claim.
So the thing is there any kind of regulatory body, like here?
It's called the law. It's called the law. There's a regulatory body out there that should deal with this, but he's like Trump. He has the money to get away with it, and political influence. At least he was buddies with Trump for the last 4 years. He's been able to buy his way out or skate on a lot of things, but he doesn't have friends that run the Justice Department any longer.
Well, I wouldn't trust our Justice Department anymore. But the thing is, I guess what I'm getting at is, so Deshaun Watson has the NFL to answer to, aside from potential.
There's
criminals.
nothing like that. It's except that he's his stock. He has to answer to his stock price. And if his stock goes down, then that's going to be, Vince McMahon obviously could lose $1 million an hour and he would still be a billionaire by the time he died. The man has more money than he knows what to do with, and now they're talking about him eyeing trying to sell the WWE off to Disney. Can you believe that? or to Sony, or some other super mega entertainment giant. And who knows? I don't know. At age 70, first of all, he's totally outlived as long as I thought he would live for. 75, but he had taken steroids for a number of years, and he obviously lives a very wild and stressful life. Overall, from what everybody describes him as. And I think he's just become this incredibly huge dictator. There'll be some amazing movies on Vince McMahon made once he's dead, and they can get past all the lawsuits that'll come up from wanting to portray his life story. But
okay, well, moving on to along the subject of antitrust. So the PGA Tour is being looked into by the Department of Justice for potential antitrust because of the LIV tournaments and all that. And it's kind of interesting because it's happening literally just before Biden is going to Saudi Arabia, right? Because here you got a situation where Biden's going to Saudi Arabia to try to beg them for oil and play nice with them, and well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to investigate the PGA. Doesn't it appear that way?
I think that
Vern, can't hear you. Somehow we lost you. Go ahead, FB.
I can't hear you, Vern. Yeah. So I was just gonna say, I think the timing's interesting, right? The conspiracy theorists with their tinfoil hats are probably going crazy, but really, it's probably just a matter of timing, right? And the PGA is really the big body in the United States, so it makes sense, right? All these things make sense. Maybe, possibly, right? This is huge speculation that Biden's maybe saying, "Hey, we'll just ruffle some feathers for the PGA, or come visit you as a sign of good faith."
I think
so if I yank your channel, I yank yours, but That's probably thinking way too deep into it.
Yeah, but no, I think you're right. It could be just for show, just to kind of because a lot of people are not happy with Saudi Arabia with the human rights this stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
And so in order to kind of make it look good, if you like you said, ruffle some feathers at the PGA, then
at the very least.
Yeah.
At the very least, nothing's probably going to come of it, but just ruffle some feathers.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Vern, we have you back on.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you hear me
we
now?
got you.
Hey, I'm back.
Now you're back.
I had to go out and then come back in.
That's it. So
I'm curious as to what the story said. I mean, did the Department of Justice confirm that they have actually started investigations? I mean, or are they thinking about investigations? It's a huge difference.
I think it's thinking about
it. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
There's that would be one thing.
They're possibly thinking about it.
Yeah, there's
possibly thinking about it. Okay, all right.
This isn't like what happened with Major League Baseball a couple shows ago when we discussed that they actually wrote a letter, right, to Major League Baseball, right? There's actually was action done there. This is more of like whispers to really ruffle some feathers, I think.
What do you guys think that now that Tiger Woods has gone on the record to not just denounce the LIV Tour, but to call out the guys who turned their back on the PGA Tour to join
he's got the money. He doesn't need, or let's put it this way, he doesn't need the money.
Yeah.
To go to the LIV Tour.
No, he doesn't need the money, but it's Tiger Woods. He's the face of the PGA Tour.
Absolutely.
So you haven't heard really anything from him on the record, and now just before the British Open is about to start, he goes on the record and says, you guys turned your back on the PGA Tour.
Do you think the PGA is paying him at all for that?
No, I think for Tiger Woods, I think it's a legacy thing, right? He came out today, in fact, and said, I just don't understand how LIV players could give up playing in major championships, right? Because that's about your legacy. Everybody looks at major championships as like the end all and be all of golf, right?
Yeah.
So this is
that's how you're measured, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Jordan saying, like, how could you not play in the NBA finals, right? He's basically saying that exact same thing. So I understand, but again, I feel like it's an easy write-off for the players that need the money.
Yeah.
They could just go and say, like, you're Tiger Woods. We get it, right? You're God amongst men in this sport.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to pay. I need the money. Like, I want to set up my family.
It depends on the player. I totally get it. Hey, guys, we're going to cut to our next commercial break. We'll come back to this, okay?
All right.
The 2008 Baltimore Oriole franchise began in 1901 with the American League. The franchise was called the Milwaukee Brewers. In 1902, the team moved, and for the next 52 seasons, could not win a World Series title. After moving to Baltimore in 1954, the team would find 6 World Series in the next 30 seasons. Where was the franchise before moving to Baltimore? That's our trivia question. It's kind of a long one.
Okay.
I'm not read it with it. Okay. All right. Stay with us. Sports Econ 101. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Edward Brown, F.P. Santangelo Jr., Vern Glenn, and Russell Jackman. Okay, so the 2008 Baltimore Oriole franchise started in 1901, the American League. Franchise was called the Milwaukee Brewers. In 1902, the team moved, and for the next 52 seasons could not win a World Series title. After moving to Baltimore in 1954, the team would find 6 World Series in the next 30 seasons. But where was the franchise before moving to Baltimore?
Weren't they in Texas?
No.
Were they Houston?
No.
I don't know.
I'll say Rhode Island for
No. It's a team that has a current team today and has been that. Which this I don't know if this question is correct because there's
were they someplace like were they in Minnesota?
No, I have an answer here of St. Louis.
That doesn't sound right to me.
Maybe.
Don't tell me you got it from Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Hey, Wikipedia is the man.
No.
No. I got to look this up again because I thought that seems weird. The St. Louis. It wasn't.
That doesn't sound that.
Oh, the St. Louis Browns?
Let's say they were the St. Louis Browns.
That's what I'm thinking, is that they were the Browns. Yeah, because they St. Louis Browns were always kind of the lovable losers. You know, they never won anything.
Yeah.
So
St. Louis Browns is what
St. Louis Browns became the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
So the trivia question's correct. It's just that they had a different name. That's all right.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Moving on here. Damian Lillard. He's age 31. Just signed a 2-year, $122 million extension with the Blazers. And he's coming off an injury-riddled season where he only played 29 games. So, you know, Hall of Famer. I don't think there's going to be too much of a question on that, right? But, you know, you look and you go, okay, 31 is, it's not too old.
Steph Curry age.
Yeah.
Steph Curry age.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all early 30s.
Yeah, but he came off. Here's the thing, though, is he came off an injury-riddled season. Now I don't know what injury he specifically had and how serious it was.
Yeah, look at the injury he had. Wasn't it an abdominal thing? It was something. Yeah. I mean, it was something significant where they just couldn't have him run out there.
But nothing like, you know, an ankle that, you know, or a knee.
No,
take you out.
No, it was an abdominal injury.
Yeah.
So that's something you again, serious, but probably you can come back maybe and like put it in the past maybe.
Hey, listen, I love it. I think it's great he's staying with one team.
Yeah.
I think it's the NBA, so you got to take everything with a grain of salt. You know, things might change in a split hair of a second, right? You just don't know in the NBA, and that's what makes the NBA so fun. I think it's great, though. I think Dame's going to be loyal to the Blazers, and I think he's going to retire a Blazer, which I think.
I appreciate that because he's never won. You know, did they only go once to the finals with him?
No, they've never been in the finals.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, so he never made it that far.
Team.
Yeah.
They've always been stopped by this team called the Golden State Warriors.
Who? Yeah, that's man. That's got to be a real hard thing because obviously he's got, you know, lots of money and, you know, he's got lots of fame, but you know, these guys, they always want that ring.
Of course.
But wow, 61 million a year. That's
awesome. Good for him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, good for him. But I mean, would if you were the Blazers, would you be paying that for 2 years for him?
Yeah, that's our guy.
Well, he's really the only reason to come out and see the Blazers in Rip City. I mean, he sells tickets. Yeah. He sells merch. And for the record, the Blazers did win the 1977 NBA championship.
Yeah. Was that with?
And Bill Walton was a part of that team. Yeah.
I was talking about recently. Sorry about that, Vern. Recently.
All right.
Because I was wondering, I knew the Trailblazers did win. Was it the Supersonics that never won?
Or Supersonics have been.
No, they did.
No, they won.
They won with Jack Sigma.
And I believe Lenny Wilkins was the head coach.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So
you think about the Sacramento Kings.
Sadly.
Hoopers. or the
Suns. Or the
Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Or the Grizzlies. Of course, a lot of those teams are fairly new, so that doesn't count. Okay, so I know this is kind of a hot topic for you guys about the vaccination status. So Djokovic, if I remember correctly, what happened in Australia? He wasn't allowed to play, but
now he can't return to the country.
Nope.
So now the thing is though, but in Wimbledon he was able to play and win.
A different place.
A lot of people are still coming down with COVID. It's not done.
It will never go away. It's just going to keep.
Okay, so all the more reason to take your shots. All the more reason to not keep, trying to stand up and pretend like you're standing for something. You're not standing for anything.
Well, I don't think he's like standing on a platform. He's just saying, listen, I'm a healthy guy. Why do I want to take?
I don't know.
How many people do you know who have taken the shot and gotten COVID? Like almost everybody.
Yeah, but they would have gotten it a lot worse. They'd be
dead. That's up to him, though. I mean, he's basically saying,
no, it's not up to him because he can affect other people. The ability for you to infect
he
other
does
people.
play under the governing body of the tennis association. So
yeah, they're the ones who make.
You got to do other things.
Russ is right. I mean, it's a business. If the business says you got to be vaccinated, then you got to be vaccinated.
Oh yeah,
not to be
And
vaccinated.
if reality tells you got to be vaccinated, you should be vaccinated. Reality tells you that.
So that said, I mean, he'll never. I mean, he won't win like the true Grand Slam because he can't play in the U.S. Open and he can't play in the Australian Open
unless the CDC decides to change the rules and the tennis governing body says, "Oh, the CDC changed the rules. It's okay now, right?"
Not likely. Not likely.
Well, no, okay, but listen, look what happened on going on airplanes and not having to wear masks because their filtration systems are really good. So,
but I got it. So,
things
for example,
change,
for
right?
example, I got to be vaccinated to go on an airplane to Brazil. I have to be. So it's just part of it. If I want to go to Brazil, I gotta get
that's right. You have to make the decision of whether you want to do it or not.
Yeah. Hey, I got 3 shots. I don't have a third arm poking out of me yet, so I'm not growing any extra extremities. So far so good.
So far,
Yeah.
so good. Yeah.
I'm double vaxxed, double boosted, but I'm still 5 foot nothing. I haven't grown.
Oh, you
Yeah,
had COVID.
Oh, but
You had COVID,
And I did.
early.
I had
Yeah, very early.
and I had it twice, and it was now again, it depends on who you are in your system, right? I mean, some people are going to get vaccinated, but because of their system, they're going to come down with COVID and they're going to get slammed. I know people like that, right? We all do, right? And then there are going to be other people who are like Djokovic, who may get COVID, may not, and because he's really healthy, eats really well, it may hit him hard. It may not. It all depends on your system. But
So
probably,
you know what? He could, go into selling real estate, or
True.
he could open an auto
There's tons of other
dealership.
jobs you could do. You could still make
Yeah, that he doesn't have to. He could run a restaurant if he feels like it, and not have to worry about going anywhere.
Guys, I want to pivot real quick. I got a really good story for
Go
you.
ahead.
So I don't know if you guys saw this, but NFL fans and Pittsburgh Steelers fans alike are flipping out that Heinz Field.
Oh, the Heinz Field change. Yeah, the name change.
Including the players. It's changing to some insurance company called Acusure Stadium.
Yes. Yep.
Right? And everyone is saying, screw that, we're going to call it Heinz Field. It's so funny to me, brand loyalty, right?
Yeah.
It's a brand. Heinz is a brand, right?
Well,
it's like, no, we're going to call it this brand and not this brand. Screw
Well,
you guys.
it opened in 2001 as Heinz Field. So I mean, so when it was built and opened the door, Heinz Field. So it's been that way since then. And then just now, there's this insurance company outbid or whatever happened, but they paid the money for the naming rights, and so now
it wasn't named for Heinz Ward
Stadium.
I still find myself calling Oracle Park AT&T.
Listen,
But,
if you guys remember, and if I'm not mistaken, I think 3Com was the first company to do this.
Yes.
And it was a candlestick. Nobody called it 3Com except for
No.
it was Candlestick Park.
Monster Park.
Yeah, that was a good one. Monster Park. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know how much did Acusure?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I have heard of them. They are pretty large. Obviously, they must have some big money. How much they paid?
It doesn't say. I don't think it's been released yet, the figures, but it's pretty funny. Oh, wait a minute. It says the company's worth $3.8 billion, so that's a lot of money. They probably have a lot. But it says Heinz Field.
They got the budget to pay the naming rights.
Yeah,
that's Vern Glenn Arena money,
It says Heinz Field in 2001 bought the naming rights for $57 million in 2001. That's a lot of cash in 2001. $57 million. Wow.
Yeah, but for how many years?
Yeah, how many years?
$57 million for how many years?
Through 2021. So that's pretty good.
Oh, okay, all right.
So that's 20 years in naming rights.
But it's not 57 million per year.
No. 57 million for up until
20 years.
1 to
Gotcha. Okay, and so Acusure is paying one fee for 20 years. Same thing, probably.
Well,
I don't know about the length.
I'm not sure. It hasn't really come up with the figures yet, but it says 15 years of naming rights.
15 years. Okay.
I wonder how much
That's
they paid
15
for
years.
So get used to that when you're seeing the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Sure. Well, there was, remember, does Amway still have the basketball arena?
Who?
Amway? Wasn't it in Florida?
I'm not sure. I know Crypto.com arena is looking really silly right now.
Yeah.
Down in LA.
You know what? I wonder if they can take it away from them. If they paid for it and it's been prepaid.
It's been really interesting to me too, Edward. I always think what if they build a new stadium? does the new stadium get the naming rights or no? Is it a completely new bid? And I think they just cancel their contract because usually when they build new stadiums, it's a completely different name. Chase Center, for example, Oracle.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but they probably have to maybe prorate it and give them back a certain portion. What do you think, Russ? You're the attorney on the panel here. Russ, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. What if FP says if they build a new stadium and they send it out for new rights again, one would think that you just prorate back to the old to Acusure in this case, for example. What do you think?
Yeah, you would. When you buy out a stadium, you buy out all the rights and the contracts of whoever you're purchasing it from. So, yeah, those existing or there has to be some sort of full buyout deal. Sometimes in the contracts themselves, it'll say in the case of a purchase, or a sale of that asset, that whoever buys it will purchase it, or buy out the contract in full, or it'll be an option or something like that. They're extremely complicated contracts where obviously they're paying lawyers tens of thousands of dollars to cover every contingency.
And there's probably something that if for some reason the company either goes bankrupt or even if they prepaid, there's got to be I'm sure they have some kind of rule.
Oh yeah, I think about Power Balance when Power Balance took over Arco Arena in Sacramento, and it was just a rinky-dink, hinky company that made some kind of fake magnetic thing that's supposed to make you a better athlete, and it was totally debunked, and suddenly they disappeared, and I think left Sacramento holding the bag.
All right, hey guys, let's cut to our last trivia question here. Trying to mimic the New York Yankees of old, which team went to 5 World Series in the 1990s? All right, that's our trivia question. Stay with us. Sports Econ 101. We'll be back with some closing comments. Don't touch that dial. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Edward Brown here. This is last time for today. Edward Brown, F.P. Santangelo Jr., Vern Glenn, and Russell Jackman. Our third trivia question, trying to mimic the New York Yankees of old. Which team went to 5 World Series in the 1990s?
I'd say Atlanta.
That is correct. Yeah, the Atlanta Braves.
They finally got their comeuppance for last year.
That's right. And then they won. I think it was 1996. They beat the Cleveland Indians. Right?
Indians, yep.
Yeah.
Still breaking Guardians fans. Hearts.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Remember, Deion Sanders was on that team, and he was playing football at the same time.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Remember the big clash with Tim McCarver?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
And threw water on him.
Water.
Yeah.
What was the big thing? Why was Tim so agitated with Deion?
And Deion got in it with Andre Rison too. Those two guys.
Well, you got to have one problem with football player and one problem with a baseball player.
You got to think about
didn't McCarver take a stand against Sanders playing baseball and football at the same time?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, hey guys, we got to cut out for today. You ready for our thoughts for today? What's the difference between a literalist and a kleptomaniac? A literalist takes things literally. A kleptomaniac takes things literally.
Got it.
Okay, and my wife often compares me to Ryan Gosling. She'll say, "You're nothing like Ryan Gosling." I'm sorry. Every once in a while, you got to kind of take a stab at yourself there. All right, audience, tune in next week to Sports Econ 101. We'll be discussing sports topics from a business perspective and asking more sports trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm Edward Brown, your host. We'll see you next week.
Good night, America.
Adios.
Hold on.